Hello and welcome. You're watching Greenwich Live Sessions. This is your host Umar Khan. I'm back with another show, another guest, and yet again, as you can see, my excitement because I'm about to introduce my guest for today. And he has a deep connection with Greenwich University as well. He is a proud alumnus of Greenwich University. He graduated in the batch of 1994. He's a seasoned banker with over 25 years of experience in Pakistan and UK. He's the head of Remedial Asset Management, HBL Bank, UK Limited, London. We have with us Mr. Adnan Asrar Siddiqi. Welcome to the show, sir. Hope you're doing well.
Thank you very much, Umar. Thank you for inviting me for this little conversation. I'm really appreciate it.
You're most welcome, sir, and thank you for your time. It's a complete honor to come across our old alumnus and bring in all the memories that, of course, you carry together. So, you're in London right now. We know we're all hit by the COVID-19. The situation is quite alarming globally. So, how has life and work affected you?
It has affected us quite drastically, I would say. I've been working from home for the last 3 months now, since 20th March onwards. And despite the fact that the lockdown was very strict and we were told to stay at home, be as careful as you can be, so we were there and we followed the instructions. And thankfully, mashallah, things have been very much under control in the side, and I'm talking in terms of the banking industry, where most of the people are now working from home and have gotten used to it. So, on that aspect, the COVID-19 has given us some new ideas of how we can operate, remotely, and how our goals can be achieved remotely. So that's a totally new experience for us, by the way. So 3 months down the road has been थोड़ा सा बोर भी हो जाता है कि जी वही एक रूटीन सुबह उठ के वही उसी टेबल पे उसी लैपटॉप के सामने काम कर रहे होते हैं. But the thing is, we've achieved more. But one of the drawbacks is that it's not a 9 to 5 job. It can be any time. So we get a call at 8 in the morning कि जी meeting है आ जाएं. So this can happen, and then we work on weekdays, weekends as well sometimes. So it's fun as well as sometimes freaks us out as well. कि जी कुछ ज़्यादा ही काम हो गया हमारी तरफ से.
Absolutely. Looking at the bright side, working from home can also be very efficient for the workers as well because they're able to spend time with the family as well and they're able to work according to their times and their convenience. So that is one positive side. But at the same time, when we talk about the Desi home style, so when you're working from home and doing a live session like this, you can get a voice from the background, ke chai la do and all that stuff. So,
Generally, this does happen. I mean, I haven't experienced it yet, but yes, my kids are mashallah grown up, so वो अपने अपने life में हैं, teenagers हैं, universities जाते हैं, तो it's not that kind of a situation. So I get up myself and do the cooking and do the chai and everything. So I don't like आवाज नहीं लगा रहा होता मैं. But generally, yes, it's been very productive, I would say, in a sense that we, I mean, for me, if I give my example, in 25 years of my career, I think this is the longest term I spent with my family, with my kids, inshallah, and got to know where the gaps have been all together. So try to fill up those gaps, and thankfully, things have been much better than they used to be before the COVID-19 situation. So I think काफी it's an eye opener for everyone basically working from home in this situation, because आपको बहुत सारी चीजें पता चलती है कि what's missing inside your home setup. For example, I finally managed to buy some furniture for that for my home as well. कि यहाँ पे ये miss कर रहा था, ये cabinet miss कर रही थी, so I got those things. And यहाँ पे क्योंकि everything is online, so you just ordered it on Amazon and it's delivered within 24 hours to 48 hours. तो वो आके assemble किया, लगा दिया, तो अपना घर पूरा set कर दिया. तो practically that's been quite good for me as well. Getting close to the kids, yes. Uh, they are, mashallah, at university के final year में. My daughter is doing her A levels, year 12, so they're pretty much busy. Their online classrooms are going on as well. But again, यहाँ का थोड़ा माहौल different है. We don't disturb the teenagers that much. They're busy in their life. So, but ये है कि हाँ, when we are at dinner time, we're all together sitting down and chatting
That's
it
the,
up.
that's the beauty of the Indian style. So we'll definitely be discussing the whole situation. But at the same time, we have comments with us. We have live audience. Let's see who we have with us. We have with us the Honorable Chancellor of Greenwich University, Madam Seema Mughal. She's watching us and she says,
Assalamualaikum, Ma'am Seema. So, thank you so much for letting me be here. Been a long time. I wish you well. You keeping well. Said Saab is doing well, and your son Naveed,
yes,
right?
Naveed.
I hope you guys are all doing well.
Yes, absolutely. We all are well here, and it's such a lovely time that to these live sessions that we're able to during this time of social distancing. We're not distancing thanks to these technologies, and we're having a session. And I'm sure lots of your classmates and old buddies will be here watching us, and we'll be interacting together. So, you mentioned the situation there in London and how people are reacting to it. So, how is the discipline over there when it comes to the normal citizens? How are they reacting to the whole COVID situation?
I think, except for the last few couple of weeks where we've had those events leading from the UK, US issues, the Black Lives Matter and the protests and everything. Other than that, things have been very much under control. People have been very much disciplined, I would rather say. And when you're told to stay home, you stay home, and only when you have something essential to go for, you go for it. The doctors, the NHS here has done splendid job. They've taken good care of all the people. I think in terms of discipline, I think that's one good example that we have around here. But the only unfortunate thing was that the lockdown came in a bit late. That's the reason why the numbers went high. But again, those are political matters, so I don't want to discuss about that. But yes, when the regulations, when the rules come in, people do follow them very, very meticulously. And mind you, people here are very health conscious as well. So they need to jog, they need to run, they need to do the cycling and everything. So that keeps on happening. The social distancing is followed very, very rigorously. So I see from my window every day people walking across, but they keep maintain those guidelines that's been given by the government. Um, so fortunately, that has been a good experience for all of us.
Absolutely, I agree to the fact that the lockdown was a bit late. That's why UK has a population of 67 million people, out
Yes.
of which we had 300,000 plus cases, and the death toll was also it crossed 3,000 people.
Yeah.
But the way they counterattacked to the whole virus and how it spread, I think a big shout out to the people who are in charge and whoever are making the decision on the top, because we've seen the resumption of international cricket as well. West
Mm.
Indies are currently in UK. Pakistan are supposed to come to UK next month.
When
So
July
things
also.
are absolutely under control, and we will look forward to things that how disciplined and how people reacted to the calls of the government. So, sir, when we talk about your whole 25 years of experience, you've been here in the banking industry of Pakistan now, mashallah, since 2012 onwards. You're there in London. So, how have you felt the difference between the whole banking industry in Pakistan and in London? What is the difference?
Uh, to be honest, the processes are much similar. I think the dedication is different. From my experiences, I worked for 18 years in Pakistan and now 8 years here. So I think the difference is more or less on the sides of how principles are followed and how dedicated you are to follow those principles. So basically, um, people are trained well here and they have a sense of responsibility. Um Unfortunately, I wouldn't say my experiences were bad in Pakistan, but there were lapses, a lot of lapses in terms of following the procedures in many areas. But I'm hoping in the last 8 years things have changed in Pakistan as well. But the early years, I started in 1994 at Suneri Bank as a trading officer, and worked my way up to this point in 25 years. Learned a lot, got a lot of exposure, got a lot of experiences in lots of areas, and I've got an insight of how how to find a differentiation between uh, how the management runs over there and how the management runs here. So the processes, the procedures are same. It's basically the implementation, the dedication of the team that is a bit different from over there. So I think, uh, but anyway, in any case, these are all our learning experiences that we come across throughout our career.
Definitely. You mentioned the exposure and the experience. So, mashallah, with your 25 plus years of experience, we've got lots of youngsters watching us, lots of students who are interested in the banking field in the future. So, how can we take advantage of your experience? What guideline or what advice would you like to give to our future bankers of how they can improve the whole system and scenario in the generations to come?
Um, from experience, I can only guide in the sense that hard work is very important. There's no easy way out. There's no free meal for anything. To get to to progress in your career, you have to work very hard, and there's no shortcut to it. And if you try to take the shortcut, you might get somewhere, but you might end up at that point as well. So I think the best way is to gradually learn your way up, uh, get as much exposure you can, and at the same time, I think that's how, for me, that's how self satisfaction comes in. During this period, I've trained also a lot of people while I was in Pakistan. While I've been here, I've trained a lot of people myself. My dad was also one of your faculty members, so he was a trainer as well. So that those those वो जरासीम थोड़े मेरे में भी आ गए थे, and he was a banker as well. So I got a lot of technology transferred from him as well, and thankfully. There are lots of people who worked with me who have learned a lot, and they actually acknowledge it that the learning drive that they got from working with me was worth it for them, and I've seen my junior colleagues have really made something good in their careers going forward after I moved around here.
So you mentioned your father, Madam Seema and Said sir are watching us. So there's a message here from Mr. Said Mughal, and he says, Naveed and we all are well, and he's sending good wishes to you, and they say they're missing your father. May he be granted highest ranks in Jannatul Firdaus. So
Thank you very
the
much. That really means a lot to me. I know Madam Seema and Said Saab, they knew my dad very well. He had been with Greenwich from, I think, from the moment Greenwich Institute was set up in the mid '80s somewhere. So I think their association is much longer than the association I have with them. So um, fortunately, I think I would like to thank Seema, Madam Seema Said for the wishes, and have good memories from the time I was with Greenwich. Um, I remember the days when we moved from the Khada Market campus to the Rashna campus. We went into our cars, बड़ा सामान shift किया, सारे students ने मिलके help out किया था. We had a lot of we enjoyed a lot that period. There was a lot of interaction. It was a small institution, and interactions बहुत थी, activities भी बहुत सारी थी. So those were the good old days between 1990 and 1994.
Yes, absolutely. I can look at, guess about the brilliant time and the wonderful memories you have, because it's been almost 3 decades now, and still you're talking about those time, and you have the smile on your face. The memories are still fresh in your heart. So
Definitely.
let's just talk about a bit about your student life. And we all are very naughty when we are students. So any memories from your student life where you had used to have fun with your friends, or something that you remember?
I don't. I mean, to be honest, I'm not like bragging about it. I was not a naughty student. I was never a naughty student. I was a very quiet, calm kind of person, minding my own business, by the way. But they had. I mean, if you're talking about the Greenwich memories, I had so many. I mean, it's been more than 25 years, but the good times were when, I mean, one of the fondest memory I have was when we had this talent night at PACC in somewhere in 1991, and I that was my first live performance of singing a song on stage in front of all the
And
students,
which song do you sung? Do you remember that?
and it was एक प्यार का नगमा है.
Okay, I think we might have your video in our
There is,
library.
there is,
I'll
there
share
is
it with you.
actually.
I'll share it with you.
There is that song, and then I had another duet in 1992. I actually, while I was doing my bachelor's, I had a music teacher who used to come at my place, and उन्होंने हमको हारमोनियम तबला वगैरह गाना साना सारे सिखाया classical Indian. So why this was happening as my extra curricular, because I had a hobby of singing and doing music and everything. So what happened was, well, just at the moment when I finished my program, my training, music training, it was my first opportunity to sing in front of the public at PACC, and I was a bit reluctant, a bit shy, but I think it's my teacher who really convinced me to go up stage and sing it. So I think I took that chance, and that's one of the fondest memories I have of my Greenwich days. But other than that, there were lots of other occasions. We had good buddy relationships with friends, with colleagues, with classmates. Um, uh, God, there's so many I can't recall each one of them, but good times.
So you mentioned your first performance at Greenwich. So if you don't mind, let's just go back in memories, and if you can, just share a line or two with all of us, because the Greenwich fraternity is here, and Madam Prima Saisab is here. So we can go back in the memories and hear a few more lines from you once again after all these years.
Oh my God. अभी तो सारा जंग लग गया भाई, सारा सिस्टम.
कोई मसला नहीं सर, जंग को ना हम बिल्कुल ठीक कर देंगे, because now we're talking about memories, we're talking about the nostalgia. So let's just relive the moment, and let's just imagine that this web session is your stage and we all are watching.
Oh, okay. That's a big challenge for me right now. Okay. Uh, तू धार है नदियाँ की, मैं तेरा किनारा हूँ, तू मेरा सहारा है, मैं तेरा सहारा हूँ. I think that's it.
Wow. That is great. I'm sure you're going to get so many comments from the entire Ganesh fraternity.
I hope it's not going to be a bad comment.
No, but then again, when you mentioned the whole tabla thing and all the trainer thing, I think that it was a must that we have to hear you sing. And thank you so much for sharing those two lines.
Just total recall of my good old early days.
So this is the main purpose of these live sessions, where what we try to do is we try to go back in time, where we're in a situation of this social distancing. We try to bring the world closer. We try to get in contact with all our loved ones, with all our alumni, and together we try to spread awareness, positivity. And I was mentioning about the comments. So here are on the comments on the screen. This is all from Greenwich, and you must remember Ma'am Shazia Anwar.
Yes,
Does that
I do.
remember?
So
She's also here with us. She says बहुत खूब.
Okay,
And
thanks.
very nice face. So see, so sir, आज भी आप कहते हैं जंग लग गया है. आज भी देख लें कैसा बेहतरीन है. मैम सीमा कहती हैं जिंदगी एक प्यार का नगमा है. सईद अहमद.
Absolutely. I mean, it has to be. There's no other definition of life. It is a song of that should be always full of love and unity. That's what actually has been lacking in the current times. But let's hope there is unity, there is love, there is understanding between the people.
So, sir, how do you look at the whole banking industry post-COVID? Because things have changed globally. Many banks have signed for bankruptcies. It's a tough time. People are rather than investing, they're taking out all their money. It's a survival period. So, how do you look at the whole entire banking sector post-COVID?
We're talking about banking sector. I think there needs to be a strategy. Uh, I personally am a strategist, so I take this as an opportunity.
Right.
Um, yes, there are drawbacks. There are chances of uh, some going into bankruptcy, liquidations, shutting down some businesses. But I think that's where you grab the opportunity of helping out those small businesses, clientele, and bring them back up. So the strategy has to be of taking in the opportunity rather than take looking, basically optimistically speaking, rather than being pessimistic about the situation. Yes, it is a challenge. It is a big challenge for the entire banking industry. Uh, I think pre-COVID, and if you're talking, if I'm talking in the Pakistani context, I think there's a lot of number crunching going on कि जी इतना profit बना दिया इतना बना दिया salaries, high salaries and low salaries and bonuses. And I mean, this should not be the focus of the industry. The focus should be to help out the economy and collectively everybody can work out together to get things done. So if we just stay stuck up with how much pay a CEO is getting of this bank and the other bank, then we end up nowhere. So that should not be the focus. The focus should be on how you can collectively build up, rebuild the economy, the industry, the systems. And I think this COVID-19 has given you the chance, the opportunity to test your digital banking systems. And I think, especially here in the UK, uh, although digital banking was already running, but coming 100% on digital banking, online banking, Zoom meetings, and Skype for business meetings, all of this has been tested and trialed and seen to be as a perfect, successful tool for future banking operations.
Absolutely.
Branchless banking was already coming in the view, so I think the future of having a building of a branch where customers can come in will still be there. That's the conventional banking. That's the old school would still want to come and have a cup of tea with the branch manager. But again, talking about industry wise, there will be a need to have a more robust kind of an online banking, digital banking channel for them to operate more smoothly and more swiftly. Because every business transaction will be dependent on how quickly a transaction can take place.
Right.
Going back to the branch of the document sign karo or the transfer ke liye or ye karo, that thing will have to be eliminated altogether if you really want to be successful post COVID.
I totally agree to that, and that was a very valid point when you mentioned that the whole mentality and the mindsets in the Pakistani banking sectors should change because the focus is not on the right places at many points. And
Exactly.
you also mentioned the opportunities. You also mentioned adaptation. So, looking at the whole Pakistani banking sector culture as an individuals, when we talk about the higher management mindsets. So, what would you like to suggest of how they should adapt according to the situation and make most of these opportunities? Because I myself look at these times as huge opportunities in all the fields.
Um, Umar, my main position on that aspect has been in Pakistan particularly is in education, training and education, because without that you can't run any kind of a business. So you have to have your manpower properly trained, properly educated before they
Agreed.
are brought into this high risk, high demanding kind of a industry. So unfortunately, what we've seen is when I was in Pakistan, I was interviewing people. I was on panels for interviews, and the quality of students that used to graduates coming for interviews was very disappointing. Not it didn't it made me angry or anything. It was very sad to see the level of competencies coming in for roles. Um, I think the most important part is education, a good education background, a good सस्ती education भी होती है, education भी कहलाती है. So it's we should not make it as a business. Education should not be a business. It should be basically transfer of knowledge of information to the next generation. So I think The first step is to improve our education standards, training standards, and then work on to build the next tier of the bankers that are going to supposedly going to come into the industry. So, having said that, I think there's a lot of action that needs to be taken before you can really feel comfortable that yes, we've done a good job in the industry. So
I,
post
I totally
COVID,
I totally agree with the fact, and especially when you mentioned the word competence. Competence and merit, these two are the words that we need to take all our emphasis on. And especially when we talk about when Pakistan was made and all the people who struggled their way and who are self-made man and their families are well settled, they
hmm,
were just like what, metric pass people. But the
yes,
focus was there, the merit was there. They built up on their focus. And now,
they had principles basically. Their lives are all based on principles, which they never
absolutely.
compromised.
And
And
as we've seen that we've seen the evolvement and the whole technology world that we live in, there are merits, there are the positives, but the usage of those technologies are not taken in the right direction by the younger generations. So
exactly, it's
we
not.
need to.
It's Umar. I'm sorry. I'm to cut you off a bit.
Sure, sure.
It's not how the younger generation is, how they have been taken into that direction, basically. I mean, I wouldn't blame the younger generation for that. It's how they've been guided into going into that area. That's the question. So basically, our generation or the generation after ours, who are leading the I mean, we are three generations ahead, behind. So I mean, after us, there's been three generations. The third generation is coming down into the industry now. So I think it's how the next following generation is being led into the corporate world. That's what counts, and how they are being trained, how they're being educated. So the principles are being compromised, unfortunately, in that area. So नौकरी पकड़ो, तनख्वाह करो. There's too much consumerism. मोबाइल होना चाहिए, स्मार्टफोन होना चाहिए, गाड़ी होनी चाहिए. I mean, these should not be the necessities of your life. Basically, stability of your life is more important than having these gadgets. Gadgets तो बाद में भी आ जाते हैं. हमने भी जब नौकरी शुरू की थी, we didn't have these things. But gradually, with the process of time, we started earning more money. We started getting into a stable career, and then our needs started to change on the basis of the priorities we have in our lives. So I think इस वक्त जो priority है कि latest phone होना चाहिए, WhatsApp पे it should have WhatsApp, it should have this, it should have that, TikTok भी होना चाहिए. Everything is good. All of these things are good. It's not bad, but should not be the priority.
I
यहाँ
totally
पे
I
I'm
totally
sorry.
agree with that. And sir, जिस तरह की आपकी अवेयरनेस है और माशाल्लाह जितने आपने अच्छे आज पॉइंट दिए हमारी यंगर जनरेशन को, you force them to think. You have forced them to rethink of all the things that they've been doing, of all the decisions that they are making regarding their career. And I would deeply love that you should mentor young students to change their
Definitely.
mindset because this is deeply needed. All the positivity and all the experience and exposure that you have, we need people like you to mentor our younger generations.
Absolutely. I already do a lot of mentoring myself here as well for some on a consultancy basis. But what I'm trying to say is basically मैं तो अकेला बंदा थोड़ी सबको पूरी वो क्या 22 करोड़ आवाम को नहीं सीधा करेगी. But the point is that you need people on the ground over there who would actually realize in
True.
pointing out exactly what is needed for the future. It's what is happening is they're all talking about today. आज कोविड है तो आज खत्म हो जाना चाहिए, कल क्या होगा देखा जाएगा. That's the approach that should not be there.
As a nation, we should be proactive people rather than reactive people and come up with our own creative ideas and innovations and be prepared for a new tomorrow rather than copying other people of what they are doing because what works
Exactly.
for another
Should
person.
plan for the future based on our own circumstances rather than जी अमेरिका में ये device आ गया तो हमारे पास भी होनी चाहिए. That's not the way it should be. You have to look around your ground situation and then plan according to your circumstances. So
Yes,
that's what's missing.
Absolutely. Understanding is the essential key where you need to understand what's going around you and then analyze the situation and then come up to a decision rather than just looking at things that whatever is working for the other will work for you. That is not the way how the world works. And,
Exactly. You've
and
just hit.
as much as I'm loving this session, sir, we are running out of time, and the time is flying like anything. And indeed, it was so refreshing for me with all the positive thoughts and all the advices that you gave. It was completely amazing. But I'll add on some more before we leave. So there's this one question from Madam Seema. Asks Adnan, do you remember Mr. Khalid Khan of Greenwich?
Yes, I do remember. I'm very well, and personally, I knew him personally as well, actually.
Oh, brilliant. Mr. Khalid Khan has a younger son. Like he was very little when you were in the university.
I might have met him. I don't remember. It's been many years ago.
Okay, that little child has grown up. He's sitting right in front of you.
Don't tell me you're Khalid Saab's son. Oh my
Youngest
God.
one.
Oh my
So
God. It's
that's
been
the
many
beauty.
years then.
Indeed, and that's the beauty of our live sessions. We come across people after years and years, and it's so lively and it's so kind of खुशी होती है बिल्कुल like उसमें
I'm
मिलकर.
totally taken by surprise. Really good talking to you. Good seeing you. Yeah. Um,
Indeed,
what a small world. Yeah.
indeed. And personally speaking, sir, it was a complete honor and pleasure because the things that you pointed out are actually the things we need to realize. But according to the things that are around and the whole scenarios, the mindsets are blocked. And we need to open them. It's not about that we can change the whole 220 million population, but
Yeah.
what we can do is we can play our part. So what we're doing here is we're trying to spread awareness from our platforms, and similarly, if we're
Spread positivity basically, and remove the negativity from the
absolutely.
generation. That's what
Even
we
if
need to.
even if we are able to change one mindset at a time, we're saving a whole entire generation at the same time.
Absolutely. Thank you so
Sir,
much. It was such a wonderful experience talking to you guys, and I hope most of the people have also enjoyed this discussion. It was my pleasure. Very nostalgic coming back to those memories 25 years ago. I can't tell you how excited, how happy I am having those discussions and recalling those memories.
and before we leave, sir, your one last message because our entire fraternity is watching us, and as it's just coming back after all these years has been wonderful. So, what would you like to say about these live sessions that we started?
I think keep this happen, keep happening, keep this process happening. I think you're doing a great job, and keep bringing in people who have a good experience in the from their career, from their lives, and who can share their experiences with you online, and for the mass to learn from, or at least hear it out. Because today, unfortunately, what I see is I've got Geo TV and Airway also, in which I keep on muted all the time because it's all negativity. We need to
I
bring people who can give you some positivity in life, some hopes, some future planning, how you can go about and make your future. We don't have anything happening there in Pakistan, unfortunately. That's the sad. So I think let's look out for positivity, and the focus should be on hard work and dedication to whatever you're doing in your life.
And the basic purpose of these live sessions is to spread that positivity, is to give some quality content to people where they can think on something productive, they can learn a new skill, they can learn something out else of this negativity as you just put it. So indeed, sir, we'll have another session sometime soon. It was a pleasure talking to you and learning so much from you and all
Same
the
here, and same here. Give my regards to everyone, especially to Munir Saab,
yes.
Ihtisham, and Mia Saab, Mia Afzal Saab. These are the three people I know I remember from the old group. There are many other. I think there was Kamran also.
Yes.
I hope they're still here, all of them.
And you must remember Jamil Ahmed as well.
Jamil Saab also, I remember them very well. So please give my best wishes, my prayers for them, and inshallah, whenever I come over to Karachi, I'll especially come in and meet everyone over there.
And sir, before I leave, I just want to add on one last thing. The best thing about Greenwich family is we are all the names that you've taken from 2 decades ago, 3 decades ago, we're still all together, and that's what
Absolutely.
we call ourselves Greenwich family.
That's the beauty of it. I think they've been there all along, throughout thick and bad situations and good situations. But they've been there. That's their dedication, I think, and that's the success factor for Greenwich as well.
You just stay safe and doing the wonderful work you're doing. It was a pleasure to have.
So much, Umar. You have a great weekend, and I'll keep on checking you out on those next future conversations. And
Definitely.
we'll catch up sometime soon, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you so much. So, you're most welcome. So, you had Mr. Adnan Asrar Siddiqi and all the wonderful things that he had to share with us. Indeed, a seasoned banker, and all the advice that he gave was absolutely something that all of us here in Pakistan were interested in entering the banking sector in future. If we take that piece of advice, I think we can do wonders to our systems of banking. We can improve a lot because one thing that I picked from this entire session was to stay positive, not to get involved in negativity, not to divert yourself, and stay focused on your goal. Be positive, and success will follow automatically. So I hope you guys enjoyed the session from today. We'll be back tomorrow, inshallah, with another session with another guest. You can always give your feedback in the comments, where you can always tell us what kind of sessions you want to see in future, what kind of topics you want us to talk on, and what kind of guests you want to see on Greenwich Live sessions. So we'll be back tomorrow. You can see the details under me. These are the details for WhatsApp, our email, and our website, where you can visit and check out the summer programs that Greenwich are offering during these testing times. Keep yourself busy, keep yourself productive, sign up for any course that you like. We're offering lots of courses when it comes to the media side, when it comes to the communication, when it comes to the foreign languages. So there's plenty of things. As you can see, www.greenwich.edu.pk. So log in, search for a course that inspires you, that attracts you, get signed up, and you never know, maybe next time you're on the live session. So this is all for today. We'll be back tomorrow. Till then, stay safe, stay positive, keep smiling, and Pakistan Zindabad.